And you were saying on the slide guitar.
Yeah, he was playing the slide guitar solo at the end, yeah.
Well, David Martin, thank you so much for stopping by tonight. We were just talking as the song was playing a little bit about your split personality. Half the Twin Cities know you as a bass player, and the other half as a guitar player.
Yeah. And hopefully it's coming together.
And
last year, I think it might be coming together just a little bit more than it was before. It was a real either-or thing there for about 10 years.
That's funny. I know you as a guitarist.
Right.
And a number of the singers know you as a guitarist.
Right.
And then a number of players around the Metro know you as a bass player.
Yeah, especially as you get into the more ethnic music stuff, the salsa and the Brazilian, especially. I've done that really since the first week. Especially the Brazilian. That's the first band I joined. Although it was guitar then, but a lot of bass stuff too as well in those styles.
Tell us a little bit about some of the bands that you play with.
All right. On the Afro-Cuban side, Salsa del Sol I've been in, I think, since they first started in, I think that was like 2001. That's led by Shai Hayo. And they do some Sundays at Santorini's and some Saturdays out at the Crooked Pint, which is right near the Metrodome downtown. Mm-hmm. They do second and fourth Sundays at Santorini's and then a bunch of private and outdoor. We got a lot of outdoor stuff, I think, coming up for the summer. It's a real fun band to see outdoor. And then the newer one is called Havana Hi-Fi, and that band is playing this Friday at the Astor Cafe. And it's not really a salsa band. It's a smaller group, and nobody's Cuban, but we do music from Cuba, and led by Tom Peterson, great singer, Esty. And if you haven't seen that band, please come down on Friday night. I think you really enjoy it. It's a fun one, and it's not a traditional dance salsa group, but people end up dancing all the time.
Starting at 9 o'clock Friday?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then kind of the return of my jazz guitar playing with singers, yourself and Vicky Mountain and Paula Lammers, Karen Quiros' group called Samba Meu. I also do Robert Everest's Beira-Mar Brazil. Usually that's just for bigger shows, like we did Carnival. Mm-hmm. And we did the Fine Line and sold out 3 shows there. That was great back in February. But then a lot of jazz stuff lately with singers, mostly duo settings, but every once in a while a full band.
How did you develop your interest in the Cuban and the Brazilian music?
I had a great teacher in college, Stan Smith, who had played with a Brazilian artist named Moacir Santos, and so he had toured with him, I think recorded as well, I'm pretty sure, and had a lot of those charts. And then, of course, you're going to learn bossa novas in that realm anyway, but to learn some of the more non-traditional Brazilian things. So when I got here, I went to Bandana. I remember where the old Dakota was in Bandana Square, the other end. It changed names like every week, whatever that place was. But I walked in, Ori's, but it wasn't Ori's, then it was something else. And I walked in, the first band I heard was a Brazilian group, and I just walked up and said, I play this music, and people like Tim O'Keefe I've known almost since the percussionist guy, almost since the first day, I got into town, and so I've been playing that music here. And Robert Everest's group, kind of has kept that going.
Now, easier to play that style of music on bass or guitar?
Well, if it's salsa, then there's not a lot of guitar in that music, although that Salsa del Sol has had me play guitar for quite a bit of stuff, especially in 05, 06, I was playing a lot of guitar. But it's much more piano music. And the Brazilian side of things, that's a lot more guitar music. Okay. So between Robert and myself, he would usually play acoustic stuff, and I would usually do the electric thing. So we would almost always have 2 guitars going, and then we each play bass as well in that band. So he can play bass, I can play bass if we need to. For the Carnival thing, we had enough people where we didn't need to do that. So he was always on guitar, and I was always on guitar.
So who do you listen to for inspiration?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, there's so many. All the guitar players that people know about, the Pat Metheny's and John Schofields and Mike Stearns and all those people. Ever since high school, all those guys. I got to see Paco de Lucia here in town just, a month ago or a little bit more, and that was great. I'd never seen him in concert. So there's a lot of guitar players that I really haven't checked out enough, and he was one of them, and I actually got to see him here in town over at the O'Shaughnessy, and that was a really, really, really good show. I was pretty blown away by that, and his band was really great. And then, I grew up on all the rock stuff, so all the rock guys, certainly. And you can hear from the song on the CD that I didn't play all the time with just a traditional jazz sound. So I love all the distorted sounds too, and Jeff Beck and all those guys. I love all the fusiony stuff, and that's a lot of what the CD ended up being, but not always. There's a couple swing things on there, and a duo song.
You also recently have been asked to join a big band.
Yeah, Bill Simonson, a trumpet player who I worked with going back to probably 94 or 5 in the Latin Sounds Orchestra, has put together a big band, and he's going to be at Jazz Central. I think he's got the first Tuesday of June, July, August, I think is what it is. So I'll be down there with Bill, and I don't know who all's in it, and I have a feeling it's kind of non-traditional big band stuff, which is fine with me, and he told me he wrote out a lot of interesting guitar parts, so really looking forward to that.
And Jazz Central is really becoming a happening place.
It is.
We like that.
Yeah,
of course,
owned by good and run by good people.
Right, Max Santiago and Tanner Taylor.
Yeah.
We have some special listeners tonight in West Virginia, maybe, and Ohio.
I think you probably do. I think you're setting the record on most people listening in the state of West Virginia, at least my mother, who had to find a place where the interwebs were working. Right. So I think she found a place. So my mother, and then my dad's in Columbus, Ohio, and I've got family there too. So I think they're all listening. I tried to spread the word as much as I could.
All right. Well, we like that.
Yeah.
We hope that if you are listening tonight in West Virginia or Ohio, that you'll just kind of stay here and join me every Monday night on the corner. I like that. Hi, Mom. By the way. All right. Well, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Now we're going to close with another tune from the album Reflection. First of all, if people wanted to find out more about you, where would they go?
Well, let's see. Of course, the Mike and I have our own Facebook music page.
Okay.
The CD's over at CD Baby, as are so many other person CDs. And then you can download from Bandcamp and Google Music. We're on there. If you do just a quick little Google search, it does come up. And I've kind of worked over the last year trying to figure out how to do that so the right stuff comes up when people type your name in or type the name of the CD in, something like that. So there's no shortage of places to get it.
Do you have a website too?
Not really. There is a website for the CD, which I don't know it by heart. And then davidmartin.org will take you to Mike and myself's Facebook page, which is a music page, kind of dedicated to the CD. And there's video stuff of our duo concerts and things. So if you go to davidmartin.org, that'll take you to at least one place, and there's links there for the CD.
Great. And I noticed on Facebook you have like over 1,000 friends.
Well, on the personal, yeah, and then we've got the music one too. Yeah, well, it's because of the cities. You know, they're all divided: the West Virginia faction and the Ohio faction, and the Portland, Oregon, and then the Minnesota. But they're all kind of blending together, which is nice.
That's a nice thing.
Yeah, all my friends are getting to know each other.
All right, so once again, we will see you Friday at the Astor Cafe.
Right, Havana Hi-Fi.
Havana Hi-Fi, and then we'll look for you. You and I will be performing together with Rhonda Laurie at the Nicollet on June 12th, and then at the Riverview on the 15th. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
It will be.
Tell us about this tune that we're going to hear.
All right, this is the only duo song that we did on the CD, so we wanted to at least get one song on there that kind of represented what Mike and I played mostly in Portland, my year plus there. And this is one of his songs, Maryann, an author named Maryann Eisler, I believe is her name, and that's where the title comes from. But I think a really nice kind of jazz waltz, and really happy with how this one came out, actually. It was a good recording.
All right, David Martin, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
This is On the Local Corner, the music of David Martin. That written actually by the other guitarist on the album, Mike Doolin and Maryann. The album is called Reflection. And thanks again to David Martin for stopping by and joining me in the Corner Jazz Studios tonight. That does it for On the Local Corner. I hope you'll stay tuned. We're going to kick off Corner Jazz with the music of Count Basie. I've just been listening to a lot of Basie this week, so lucky for you, I guess.